nature feels great. In fact, it feels wonderful. Going into the forests or mountains, spending the day at the ocean or lake calms us, makes us happy, and generally leaves us in a relaxed and joyful state. We can think more clearly and often find that our problems fall away in the rays of sunshine. Our minds clear with the rustling of the wind through the trees, and we slow down as we get lost in rapt attention of watching a dragonfly dance through the air. We feel our breath slow, our bodies relax, and tension melts away. The medicine of the natural world is beautiful and profound, and it greets us freely every time we cross its threshold. But many of us cannot access nature on a regular basis, cannot dip our toes into a cold mountain lake to reset our nervous system. While physically being present in nature is optimum, we can still reap Mother Nature's benefits, even if we are stuck miles away due to physical or geographical limitations. Psychologist and trauma expert Peter Levine has said that trauma is one of the most common and one of the most commonly underestimated causes of human suffering. Here, we're going to discuss the intersection of the traumatic response and nature photography, how viewing photographs of nature scenes can be a beneficial and potent substitute for actually being there. It can be used to help reset your parasympathetic nervous system, allowing us to become alive in our bodies once again. This process can be facilitated through a number of different methods, such as poetic meditation while viewing a photograph, guided visualization, and nature journaling, which will all be discussed later. Please be aware this is for educational purposes only. This is not a substitute for therapy. If you are experiencing acute trauma and you feel that you may become triggered, this may not be for you. Remember to be gentle with yourself and breathe. Now let's move on to what trauma actually is. Broadly speaking, trauma is considered a physical injury and or emotional response to a deeply distressing event. Clinically, there are considered three main types, with many more subtypes. The three types are acute, which occurs after an accident, assault, or natural disaster; chronic, which happens after domestic violence, bullying, or war; and complex, which occurs after childhood abuse and also domestic violence and neglect. When experiencing a traumatic event, our bodies automatically launch into survival mode through the fight, flight, or freeze response. This response is centered in two separate areas of our limbic system, or mammalian brain: the amygdala, which is the emotional and instinctual center, and the hippocampus, which governs memory. There are also three main hormones that respond to a traumatic event. When experiencing trauma, our brains first release adrenaline and norepinephrine, and secondarily cortisol, the stress hormone. Adrenaline is produced by the adrenal glands after receiving a message from the brain that a stressful situation has presented itself. It is largely responsible for the immediate reactions we feel when stressed. Norepinephrine, like adrenaline, causes arousal. When you're stressed, you become more aware, awake, and focused. It helps to shift blood flow towards more essential areas at the time, like the muscles, so you can flee the stressful situation. Cortisol helps to maintain fluid balance and blood pressure, while also regulating body functions that aren't crucial in the moment, like reproductive drive, immunity, digestion, and growth. When a person experiences a traumatic event, adrenaline rushes through the body and the memory is imprinted into the amygdala. The amygdala is what holds the emotional significance of the event. It also communicates with other areas of the brain, including the hypothalamus, which releases the stress hormone cortisol. After the amygdala does its job, the prefrontal cortex moves into action to assess the source of the threat and determine if the body needs to stay on high alert to deal with the threat, or if the brain can begin calming the body down. This modern area of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, controls emotions, self-control, and compassion. It also acts as a braking system that helps return your body to a normal state when you realize that the threat doesn't pose a danger or after the threat is past. We do have a hard time regulating our fear and other emotions when the rationality of the prefrontal cortex is overridden by the amygdala. If something prevents our nervous system from completing its natural survival-based response of moving through the trauma, moving from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex and turning off, the experience can be stored in our bodies, resulting in mental or physical illness or both. So people who have symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, the amygdala has become hyperactive or continues to stay on, and it responds too strongly. And at the same time, the part of the brain responsible for calming this reaction, the prefrontal cortex, doesn't turn on. It stays underactive. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body and connects the brainstem to the body. It counteracts the fight, flight, or freeze system to engage the parasympathetic nervous system. There are two parts to our vagus nerve: the dorsal or back portion and the ventral or front portion. Safety cues activate the ventral portion, and danger cues activate the dorsal. Healthy vagal tone allows you to respond mindfully to situations. The vagus nerve is activated when you're feeling compassion and empathy. But the vagus nerve also manages fear. It sends information from the gut to the brain. You know that gut feeling you get when you're in a bad situation? That's the vagus nerve at work. It also helps you to remain calm when stressed and to let you know when you're no longer in danger. It guides you to the rest and digest activity of your body. Stimulating the ventral vagal branch can be done through engagement with nature, and it allows your body to become less guarded and more relaxed. Restoring healthy vagal tone correlates with your capacity for healthy regulation of stress responses. Clinical psychologist Glenn Doyle puts it this way: whenever we turn inward to check with our true feelings, we're lighting up the vagus nerve. Whenever we plug into the rhythms of ourselves and the world around us, we're lighting up the vagus nerve. Moving our eyes to look at nature and nature photography can powerfully engage the vagus nerve as it's attached to the eye muscles and eye nerves as well. Stimulating this nerve also stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which in turn reduces our neurophysiological experience of stress. It reduces our heart rate and blood pressure and influences the limbic system in our brain, where our emotions are processed. Being in nature heals. Numerous evidence-based studies have proven that fact. It's the ideal scenario to be able to go outside and breathe with the trees multiple times a week, but we can't always access nature. Some of us work with populations that are never able to access forests, mountains, or the oceans themselves. And in 1984, Roger Ulrich, using data from a hospital setting, published the first results of his well-controlled empirical test, that of hospital patients' outcomes based on their view outside their hospital window. Those patients who viewed trees outside the window had a lower pain experience, used less narcotics, stayed in the hospital for a shorter time, and had a more positive post-recovery outcome than those whose view was another building. A decade of subsequent research by Ulrich and his colleagues conclusively proved that subjects exposed to a stressor recover faster and more positively if they are shown nature scenes, rather than scenes devoid of natural elements. Ulrich's work has shown that nature contact can be beneficial, whether it is real or simulated. How does a photo of nature factor into easing the traumatic response in the body? Well, it can help to interrupt the chemical messages we've been talking about, remind the brain that the body is safe, and allow us to become embodied once again, essentially to drop back into our bodies, which allows our bodies to return to a state of stasis. While we can't fully substitute two-dimensional pictures for the multi-dimensional experience of our bodies in nature, we do miss out on the sounds, smells, and proprioception of our bodies in the environment, the sun and wind on our skin. But in situations where getting outside is impossible, or the natural world is too far removed from your location, such as an inner city environment or an office in a high-rise, using photographs to interrupt the stress response can be extremely positive and functional substitutes. And in some environments, such as long-term care, hospitals, and incarceration facilities, simulations may be the only way to create a beneficial experience. When interrupting the stress response of trauma, there are some great signs to show you that it's working, that you're re-engaging your parasympathetic nervous system and shifting into rest and digest. You could experience one or more of the following: yawning, twitching, crying, a slower heart rate, slower, deeper breathing, waves of warmth and heat, chills, laughing, or sighing. These are all evidence that your body is discharging held trauma. They're positive signs and should be allowed to happen naturally. Now let's move on to some exercises that can be used for self-care or for use with clients who cannot access nature themselves. Prepare yourself in a quiet environment. Sit comfortably with your feet resting gently on the floor. Lean into your chair and feel your sit bones and the contact of your flesh against the fabric or wood. Gently scan all of the areas of your body that come into contact and take note of anywhere you're holding tension. Notice, breathe. Allow your back body to fully engage with the back of your chair. Feel how your breathing can touch the back of the chair as it fills your entire lungs. Breathe deeply and slowly. Lengthen your exhalations. You may close your eyes if you wish. Rest your hands in your lap with your palms facing upwards to allow your body to accept the earth's energy. You have nowhere to go and nothing else to do. You're safe. There is nothing else to do but breathe. Take a few moments to fully become mindful of your breath. Slow, deep, mindful inhalations through your nose and long, cleansing exhalations. Feel the quality of the breath as you inhale and exhale. Notice whether it is hot or cold on your upper lip. You are calm and peaceful. Now slowly open your eyes and remain in this deeply focused state. This is an excerpt from my self-published book, A Walk in the Wilderness, which you can find on my website. Please look at the screen. You will see a photo. Stare at it softly. Once you have the scene in your mind's eye, you may close your eyes if you wish. Relax and let the visualization engage your vagus nerve. Feel present and immersed. As a child, you realized that you loved the ocean so much that you wished you had gills and fins instead of lungs and legs, to explore the beautiful depths of a world that is not made for terrestrial folk. Your gratitude for a shared earth spills out of your lungs in laughter and song, in time with the crashing of the waves. Notice how this made you feel. Check your body for feedback. What is it telling you? Now we'll move on to a guided visualization. Guided visualizations are an effective way to help immerse yourself into the sensory aspect of an environment while not actually being there. Like before, check in with your body, make sure you're relaxed. Now let's begin. The sun is hot on your skin as you make your way into the field of blueberries. The bushes are laden with ripe fruit. Basket in arms, you wander closer. Crickets beckon you to join them. The heat is noticeable. Sweat trickles down your neck. The sweet fragrance of the fruit is palpable, heady. It lingers in your nostrils and charms your palate as you inhale deeply. You start to salivate in anticipation. You lower down in almost prayer-like reverence and begin plucking the warm, plump fruit. The first few berries roll around your basket, but soon it fills. Quickly, the heaviness is welcomed, anticipated. Every third or fourth one goes into your mouth. You can't resist. Their luscious, juicy flesh succumbs to your teeth and bursts forth pure sunshine and joy to your mouth. A sticky purple juice drips from your lips and stains your fingers. Pure, delicious bliss. Again, how did this make you feel? Check your body for feedback. What is it telling you? This final exercise is nature-based journaling. Nature-based journaling is a type of mindful, reflective practice, and it is recommended to do for 20 minutes every day for self-care, especially for those who are in caregiving professionals. It can assist in assessing stress, discharging it, and grounding yourself. It involves spending time tuning in while you practice nature-based mindfulness. It involves sitting quietly, observing, and writing down those observations. In this process, you ask yourself 3 questions. What are you observing? How can you learn from this observation? And how can you relate these teachings to your current thoughts and our situation in life? The process is simple. Connect, observe, feel, and write. Now, if you want, you can write your observations on the photo on the screen. I will read you my answers to the above 3 questions to give you an idea of what it can look like. Feel free to ignore my words if you're deeply into the process. What did you observe? An alpine lake surrounded by peaks and saddles. Packets of snow yet to melt. A soft breeze rushes down the slopes, drying the sweat off our skin and causing gentle ripples on the water. Hawks drift in the thermals. The air is fresh and light. What did you learn from this observation? An ecosystem is like a jigsaw puzzle. Everything fits perfectly and works together to create benefit for all. Its depth is profound, yet barely noticeable from the surface. Only when you immerse yourself in do you realize the life below the surface. How will you apply this teaching into your life? Be curious and delve deeper. If you only notice what is going on at the surface level, you'll miss out on so much. Spend the time and the effort it takes to see into the depths. Allow yourself to be open to discovery. Take a step back from your problems and issues to see the bigger picture, how things can work together. You may gain a new perspective and understanding. Nature truly helps to build our resilience from trauma. Discovering the mystery of trauma's source inside your body and utilizing nature to help illuminate it and bring it to the surface allows its release in the safe, loving embrace of nature. We stimulate the vagus nerve and engage the parasympathetic nervous system by diaphragmatic breathing, visualization, mindfulness, and embodiment, getting out of our heads and into our bodies. Having your focus on the photo while simultaneously engaging your body by feeling your feet on the floor or the air in your upturned hands reminds our bodies to relax, rest, and digest. Thank you for taking the time to engage with me. If you would like any more information, please feel free to get in touch.